Before the title, and way before any election, our guest today has served and shown to be a dynamic and graceful leader from boardrooms, strategy room, to her own family room. She's moved policy, built coalitions, raised funds, and now she's raising 2 children and a dog while arm in arm with Maryland's history-making governor. Her title is First Lady of Maryland, but even more historical, she is also the first Black First Lady of Maryland. She's not just making history, she's making impact. She's substance, style, strategy done sophisticatedly, and serenity under pressure. She is our guest today, and she has invited us into the government house for our interview. Welcome, First Lady Dawn Moore. So, I don't know how formal we want to be today. Are we calling you First Lady?
Oh my goodness.
Madam, Dawn the Fly Moore.
No, my goodness.
Dawn the Fly Moore. Which
Dawn the Fly Moore is like, my daughter teases me about this all the time. So I probably can't say my email, but
Right.
my maiden name is Flight.
Yeah.
And for whatever reasons, people switch it and say, the Fly.
Yeah.
But it's Flight.
You're the
And
flyest.
so please don't call me. Now, listen, y'all call me Dawn all the time, and that's what you should call me.
All right, we're going with Dawn.
Thank you.
Or the Fly one.
More.
So let's get into Mini Dawn. Tell us about your upbringing, where you were born, all the things.
So I was born in New York. I was raised in New York, and
What borough was it?
I was raised in Queens.
Queens.
I was raised in Queens, and I had a brother. I grew up with both of my parents, and they were civil servants. My mother's a teacher. My father was an operating engineer.
Wow.
I always share so proudly that my grandfather helped to put up the World Trade, and my father helped to clear it after 9/11.
No way.
And so we come from a long line of construction workers. My grandfather was in the military prior to that. So my mom is the Army brat. She moved around quite a bit. All of her sisters were born in 3 different states. She has 3 daughters. And I remembered like having a really fun childhood. I feel like my parents did everything for us that they possibly could.
Yeah.
Not a perfect family, right? I'm very open about, my father was a recovering alcoholic before he passed away in 2004. But I always said that, he died saved and sober.
That's all.
And but they were really committed to the community. They really were. And I remember early on, even when they would go vote, like across the street at the school across the street from us, they would take us to go vote with them. And so I have that memory. And I think I just learned from my parents to always be involved. My mom is my shiro. She was a
Miss P.
big, yes, Miss P, big, advocate. She taught me, not directly, but just through her actions, how do you fight for your family? How do you fight for your community? And I think that's kind of what drove me or pushed me towards public service.
So in college, well, let's start with, what college did you go to and what did you major in?
Yeah. So I went to University of Maryland, College Park.
Oh, okay.
Yes. There's in Maryland. That's right. I went to University of Maryland, College Park, and I majored in government, politics, and women's studies.
Well.
And so, yes.
It all makes sense
So it all
now.
makes sense.
So that
My
escalated.
friends always say, you're the one who actually went into their major. You actually did that.
Yeah.
But it was, it was something that I felt passionate about. I felt like it was important. I was in this area. And I'll tell you the truth, I really didn't know anything about Maryland's government at the time.
Yeah.
I was like more focused on DC. And so I was like, well, this school is, right close to DC. But then I started to learn more about the local aspect of government. And that was really powerful.
So as a teen in New York, and in the era where you grew up there, was your style more like MC Light, Queen Latifah? Like,
oh my
what,
goodness,
what were we wearing?
Listen,
I
I was definitely in the hip hop. I was in the hip hop era, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
listen,
Hip hop era.
I used to wear Carhartt jackets, baggy jeans, right? We had, whatever the new Nikes were. Listen, oh Lord. But I had a beeper. I did, because that was how our parents got in touch with us.
For real.
So, but it was fun. I always had great friends, great girlfriends.
Did Dia and you go to, what was it, high school?
We met on the first day of high school.
What?
The
I knew you guys were
first
close from
day
forever,
of high
Dia
school.
Stems we're talking about, who is also going to be a guest this season.
Oh, yes.
She's always so supportive of us, so we love Dia, but that's your day one.
Day one, she is an amazing entrepreneur.
Yeah.
She runs an amazing business. And she exactly is who she is and was. So she's a boss. She's a boss.
It's Dia and Sanjay, correct? Did Sanjay also go to high school with you?
So Sanjay, is a little bit younger than us.
Okay.
And so she came in and I think we might have been like juniors or seniors when she came in as a freshman.
The world is so small.
The world is small, but I will say the women that came out of St. Francis Prep and came to Maryland did okay.
They did beyond okay. I love that.
Yes,
I love that.
Yeah. So, but yeah, Sanjay is amazing. She worked with us on the Preakness. She has an amazing production company.
Yeah.
And so
I just thought that was the funniest fact. That you all went to the same high school.
Really, really proud. Really proud.
So for those who are watching that don't know a lot about you or where you've come from or any of that, tell us about like your first job or your first job in government. Like, what were kind of like the steps that you took that led you to?
I want to know the high school job, and then I want to know the other stuff.
All right, let's start there.
Okay. The high school job is easy because my mother, one thing, and my parents always made sure we worked. And so my first job was at a movie theater, and I was at the concession stand.
Nice.
And I was the best upseller they had. So, if you want popcorn, I'm like, for a quarter more, you can get a large. And so, but that was my one of my first jobs. I also worked in LaGuardia Airport at the Coffee Beanery. I mean, now we have Starbucks, but at the time we had the Coffee Beanery.
And that was a big deal.
And I worked there with Dia.
So you worked there
with Dia.
Yes.
And you guys were baristas.
We were baristas. We would be there 6 o'clock in the morning opening up, and everybody would be lined up, and we'd make our cappuccino and coffee, and and it was important to give good service. I mean, good customer service. I learned so much serving other people, like literally. And I'm not trying to be, corny about it, but when you know how to serve other people, it translates in your life, in so many different areas.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And then, but in government, and I said this, I didn't really know about Maryland state government per se, right? I knew about the federal government, knew about New York, the mayor of New York, whoever that was at that time. But I actually applied for a fellowship through the American Association of University Women.
Okay.
And it was an opportunity with then Senator Jenny Forehand, who was a senator in Montgomery County. And I remember doing research, like, I'm trying to find her in DC, but where is she, right?
Because you thought that was it.
I thought that was it. And then I realized, I was like, no, she's in the Maryland General Assembly. And so I applied for that fellowship. It was a great opportunity. It was my first introduction through the General Assembly and being a fellow, learning how to track legislation, learning how to, even testify. I think I even testified on the Hope Scholarship at that time, which was a scholarship that allowed Maryland students who were going to the University of Maryland to go free of tuition. And so I remember testifying on that bill.
Wow.
Yeah.
What sparked your interest to even make you major in women's studies and government? Like, there had to be something inside of you that made you say, okay, when I go to college, this is what I want to learn.
Yeah. Well, so my first what I knew I wanted to major in was government and politics. Okay. And then at University of Maryland, they had a lot of like cross-listed, subjects that you could that you could take. So there were women's studies courses that were cross-listed with government and politics. Okay. And so they just lined up. So if I wanted to learn about, women in government or, theory around, women serving or feminism, I could do that. And it would also allow me to have credits in, my major. And so I did that. They also had the opportunity where you could take courses in African American studies. And so I did that. And so those programs and those subjects were cross-listed with government and politics. And so that's how I did it. And then I found that, working on behalf of women's issues became very important to me, right? And you learned about the cross-section of race and gender and all of those things and how policy affects everything that we do.
Yeah.
And so they recognize women's studies as a certificate opportunity. And so I took advantage of that so that I could leave with a major in government politics and a certificate in women's studies.
It's funny because when I was in college, I double majored, right? So I majored in broadcast journalism, and then I minored in political science because in my mind, I was going to be on CNN, right?
Still happy if you
I know. But part of the courses that we had to take was a feminism class. And I've been so mad, like, oh, I don't want to take this class. I don't want to take it. And I learned so much. And I left that class saying, okay, I'm a feminist.
Right.
I'm a feminist.
Like, it's not a bad word. It's not a bad word, right? And that's what I appreciated, right? To be able to stand up for what you believe in, to understand that, yes, we do have to fight for the rights of those who are disenfranchised or those who are being left behind. It does not make you, anti any other particular, gender or race or
People
so
have
forth.
weaponized the word. But
They
it's
have
really a very
weaponized the
positive
word. They have weaponized the word.
Agreed.
Yeah.
And then you ended up, were you a chief of staff? Like, walk us into when you had a position in government before.
So, after I graduated from college, I actually was a substitute teacher for a little while in Baltimore City.
Wow.
I was.
Okay.
And I will say, my mother's a teacher. I don't know that I got the gift of teaching from her. I will say that. But I did, love working with young people.
So happy that you were teaching.
And I also worked in a program called Raising Strong Sisters. And that was a program that was administered by GBMC and the YMCA at the time. And so I was in the school with this after-school program. They asked me to, if I could be a substitute teacher. I said yes. But then I realized, this is a very noble profession. This is not I didn't feel like I was doing it justice, right? It wasn't what I had gone to school for. And I thought it was very important that I start to focus on the things that I felt qualified to do. And so I looked at more opportunities in service, and I called one of my favorite professors from University of Maryland. His name was Dr. Ali Johnson. He was an African American studies professor. And I said, do you know of any good opportunities in service? And he said, well, I have a student who is who has been working at the Secretary of State's office, but he is going to Georgetown for law school. And his name was Ken Ullman, who then went on to become the county executive of Howard. Yeah, okay. You know Ken. He ran for office, became county executive. He also was the chair of the Maryland Democratic Party under my husband. So he said, send him your resume. And Ken he's one of the follow-up kings. Gave it to John Willis, who's still my mentor to this day. Wow. And I received an opportunity to work in government relations and community organizing with the Secretary of State's office.
Wow.
And so that was my first entree. And then Governor Glenn Denning in 98 was running for re-election. And I just raised my hand to volunteer. And I said, I'll do whatever. I didn't have a lot of experience in campaigns. In fact, I had no experience. But I felt like it was something that I could do and wanted to do. So I literally told them, I will stuff envelopes.
Wow.
So that I can be a part of the campaign.
Yeah.
And they said, okay. And I stuffed every envelope I needed to stuff. But then I think they saw my work ethic.
Yeah.
And they were like, well, Dawn, you live in Prince George's County, right? And you know Senator so-and-so, so why don't you? And they gave me tasks and they gave me things to do. And then it just grew from there.
Wow.
And then that landed you where?
So we won that election. And then I was elevated at the Secretary of State's office to be Director of Community and Intergovernmental Affairs. Okay. And then they requested that I come onto the lieutenant governor's staff, and I ran policy around women, work, and family issues. And then she was running for governor, and they asked me to run Prince George's County, and I ran Prince George's County, and we did great in Prince George's County. And then after that, one of my mentors, Ulysses Curry, who is deceased now, but he had a delegate who was running, and that was Anthony Brown.
Wow.
And he said, you should pick Dawn to help you through this process. And so
You've been at it for a long time.
I've been at it for a long time. And so I was Anthony's chief of staff when he was lieutenant governor. And then I met my husband, and we moved to New York. And then I came, actually before that, I actually worked, when Anthony and I worked together, he was figuring out what he was going to do. And then he decided to join Martin O'Malley. And so I became deputy campaign manager for that campaign.
Got it.
Along with a great team. They won. And then once they won, I left government. I went to New York with my husband.
Your husband.
Wes Moore.
Segue.
Our good friend Wes Moore.
How did you and Wes meet?
We always joke and say it was like an arranged marriage. We were introduced by family. His aunt and my aunt, good friends. They met at a conference in Jamaica. And they would always say, actually his aunt would say, you need to meet my nephew. And my aunt had never met him. And then when she met him, she said, oh, you need to meet my niece.
You initially probably, because it's your aunties, you're like, girl.
Yes, I was working on a campaign at that time. In fact, I was working on the O'Malley campaign at that time. And I was like, my family is calling me. They're like, this guy, he's in school in Europe. They didn't even tell me he was a Rhodes Scholar. They just told me he's in grad school in Europe. And I was like, that's great. And at that time, you weren't really Googling people.
Right.
So you didn't know that much. You didn't know that much.
The good old days.
I know. So I think his uncle said, Uncle Howard, Uncle Howard said to him, did you call Michelle's niece? He's like, just call her.
They were determined.
They were determined. And he's like, just call her, because if you see her aunt again, then it's going to be awkward.
Right.
So he's like, okay. So he called. And he said, hey, why don't we go out for coffee? So I was like, okay, that's easy.
Yeah.
I think he was a little strategic, because I think he was like, this could be really quick.
Right.
And I would check the box. I would have checked the box.
I don't have to get to a whole meal.
Yes, yeah.
So the coffee date went well.
The coffee date lasted 18 years.
They're still on their coffee.
Yeah, we still are. But yeah, it was great. I think, a coffee date that probably should have been no more than an hour ended up being 5 hours.
Really?
It was.
Wow.
It was great. Right. And then he called me the next day and he's like, I'm barbecuing at my friend's house. Do you want to come over? I was like, sorry, I'm working.
Nope. The other night, because I get all the privy information when we have our little intimate times, I didn't know about the travel story. With you guys.
Yes. Oh, yes.
I love that. Please tell us that story.
I will. So here's the thing. A lot of people say, well, what was your first date? Right? That's the one you're talking about, right? So the first date really was, Wes called me and he said, I would love for you to come to Prague with me and my friends. We had been staying on the phone, and he's like, we're going there for a New Year's celebration. He said, in Prague. He was in Europe at the time, so you can get, everybody thinks they're like, oh, okay, right? It's like, let's go to New York, exactly. So he's like, you just get here, and I will take care of the rest. So I said, okay. So I get there, and my mother is like, well, should you travel with somebody? And I was like, okay, well, maybe I'll bring one of my girlfriends. And then I called him, and I'm like, I'm going to bring my girlfriend Lois, who is now one of the godparents of our son, and he sounded so disappointed.
Like you need a.
He's like, okay, right? And then I was like, okay, no, I'm not taking her, right? So then I get to London and I get to, I think it was like in the train station. I was going to catch a train to Oxford and I got pickpocketed. Oh my gosh. I got pickpocketed. And I mean, to this day, I couldn't tell you when or how it happened.
Yeah.
And I called my mother and I'm like, Mommy, I got pickpocketed. And she's like, well, you know, do you have your pass? You know, all the things. So I was still fine. I get to Oxford. Wes is a big cook, right? So maybe the next day or the day, the night, he has a dinner which has like a, you know, sort of this Chinese food theme to it. And he has some friends over and he gives me a fortune cookie. And it was a homemade fortune cookie. And I opened it and it says, you are in for a big surprise.
So he already knew what it said.
He made it.
Oh,
He made the fortune cookie.
So you need to buy a black swan. If it doesn't work out,
Got it.
It's gonna be good.
Now you know.
So I'm like thinking to myself, I'm like, well, you know, okay, right? What's the surprise? We get to Gatwick Airport and he says, I have something to tell you. He said, you always wanted to go to Italy. And that's where I'm going to take you. So we weren't going to Prague. It was
Imagine your girl is with you.
Okay, wait. Well, how long after the coffee date did this happen?
So it was some months. It was some
Okay.
months. Oh, so think about it like this. I was working on the campaign at that time. And I met Wes in 2002.
Okay.
So I was working on a campaign and we lost that race. So in November is when we were like really just talking on the phone every day. I mean, our cell phone bills were sky
And this is
high.
when it was
That's
About a
why-
minute.
Yeah, you didn't even have, so I didn't even know how we were paying for that, but we managed. And then you're talking about January for New Year's. So
Okay.
this is sort of the period of time. And he said, I'm taking you to Italy. So he took me to Venice and he took me to Florence.
Wow.
And I always say that was our first date.
I love that. What better first date?
Florence and Venice.
Jamil took me to the movie.
I went to Mondom and Mall. Well,
I love it. I love it.
so with such a like elaborate first date and coffee shop and arranged marriages.
The grandfather clock. I'm sorry.
yeah.
There were many more grandfather clocks in this
Ooh, that was
house,
driving me
too.
crazy.
I know. We had some sort of like,
So this is the last one left?
it's probably the last one. Like there are more in the house, but that's the last
I feel like
one.
there's a cuckoo clock here that actually has the cuckoo.
Well, at least it didn't do the
Don't-
No,
Yeah,
no,
hold
you're
on.
right. It did not. It's sweet.
It was very feminine.
Yes,
was.
exactly.
That's why I can stay.
That's the one. There you got it.
Back to what I was saying. Okay, so with such an elaborate first date in Italy and Venice and wherever else you went, and a long coffee date, I would imagine you had a big, beautiful wedding after.
Oh yeah, it was a dream. It really was. I think at first we wanted a destination wedding, but because family's so important to us, and we knew at the time everybody couldn't get to where we wanted to have it, which I've got a funny story about too, because we wanted to get married in Anguilla, right?
Ooh, and that was before people knew what
Yeah,
it was.
right. I found this place and it was fabulous. And so anyway, no, actually Antigua, I'm sorry.
Antigua.
But yeah. That's right. So long story short, we decided that we weren't going to do that, but we would create a destination in Maryland and in the DC area. So we were married at the National City Christian Church in DC, and we had our reception at the Mandarin, which is a salamander now, right? It's a salamander now. And we had a daytime wedding. We had almost 400 people at our wedding.
Oh my gosh.
It was 4th of July weekend.
Oh.
We got
Right, our
married.
anniversaries.
Yes. This is our public celebration.
Right.
You all know the Vegas story. So, but anyway, long story short, it was a beautiful wedding, and it's still such a great memory in my mind 18 years later.
So the Vegas story. Please
Oh,
tell
boy.
us the Vegas story.
So I always get my husband because this was just the thing that he and I had decided to do. But you know what? I have to give it the credit to Wes, honestly, because he was serving overseas at the time. And he felt strongly that if we were engaged and if something happened to him, the Army would treat me differently.
That's so beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so he came home on leave because he was deployed for a year, and they did have some leave, and we got married in Vegas.
Oh, by Elvis.
It was Elvis.
I was joking.
I thought about renewing my vows to just get Elvis.
Just to get Elvis.
I think that is so
Just
cool.
to get Elvis.
That is
I mean,
so
he
cool.
had on a Nike sweatshirt. I had on jeans. No. Wes had on a Nike sweatshirt. I had on like some little jacket and jeans.
Oh,
and yeah.
I love it. I love that you guys did it your way.
Yes.
Had your moment, but then you also gave back to your family.
And a lot of we didn't tell a
400
lot of people for a long time.
Yeah.
And everybody could say, you guys are so calm. I was like, yeah, we are. We're ready. That's so funny.
So how far into your marriage did Wes decide eventually, I think I'm going to run for governor?
Well, he was the CEO of the Robin Hood Foundation, one of the largest poverty fighting foundations in the world. Really,
Wrote a little book.
Yeah, wrote a little book. He did all the things, right?
Only a bestseller.
Living out his passion for service.
Yeah.
And I think that he felt that this was the next thing he wanted to do with his life, of service. And he said to me, I think I want to run for governor. What do you think? And I was like, oh my God. I was like, what?
Did you have to process it, or did you?
Oh, I definitely processed it. And I've said this before, I kicked the tires.
Yeah.
Right? I know what this means for a family. It wasn't just him and I. We had, we have children. We have extended family. And, I always try to say I was like the little puppy that you're trying to like walk, and then it keeps dragging its bottom on the floor, to get it to move. But after we did that, I told him, I'm your ride or die. That's it. And I was 1,000% in, and it was something that I feel really proud that we did together.
Yeah.
I feel really proud that that's what it was.
How full circle that you had already had all that experience. The aunties introduced you.
Yeah.
And like, okay, I've done this a time or two. Let's go.
And it was something that, I had the ability to be home with my children for a while, and because he was traveling so much, and so that was important to us. But when it came to this, it was like I was back in my wheelhouse. And so I felt very proud to be able to help him get to this place, and we could do it together. That was something for me that it's like you all are in, business with your spouses. And I love to see that. It gives you things to talk about, to do together. And it keeps you energized. It's fun building with the person that you're spending the rest of your life with.
Sometimes.
Yeah. But it's good though, And of course you got to work things out in the marriage. But it got me back in my wheelhouse. And so we were, doing that together. So I loved it. I loved the experience.
How long is the campaign trail? Like, how long did you guys have to spend traveling and interviewing and doing all that?
Listen, Wes started at the bottom of the barrel.
He was polling single digits.
Yeah, he was polling at like 2%.
Yeah.
Right? So we had a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
We put a lot of miles in. And so it was definitely like over a year that we were on the campaign trail. And it was...
What kept you going when he was only polling?
Well, you know what?
What
because
was in you like, oh no, this is still going to happen?
Let me tell you something. I say this to anybody. I believe in my husband.
Yeah.
I just believe in him so much. And I was like, and I told him this, if we do this, we're going to do this together. And I said, it will be your time, and you will be the one no one saw coming.
That's a word.
And that's what it was.
The underdog.
The underdog. And you know what? I think people felt his message, his sincerity, his empathy, this message of leave no one behind. And I have no doubt that it resonated. And he showed up everywhere.
Yes.
He did not take anything for granted. And we didn't take anything for granted. And I think that it made a real impact. I mean, it obviously made a real impact.
Here we are. Here we are.
So obviously you won. You were victorious. Walk us through that day. Like, where were you when you found out that you were gonna win? What did that day look like?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think, you're sort of anxious. I mean, first of all, he ran against, I think, about 9 other candidates, right, in the primary. And that was a big hurdle to get over.
Yeah.
That was a big hurdle. And there is a picture, and I think in the Washington Post or whatever, when that call came in that, that he had won, right?
Where you guys don't find out on TV like the rest of us.
Right. Well,
They actually call you.
Like the draft before. But you know what? Actually, you know what's so funny? In the end, in the primary, it was still a little bit tight. We didn't know right away. They were sort of like saying it looks like this, but there was another candidate that maybe. And so we were a little bit on pins and needles.
Yeah.
Right. And so, but when that came in, we did the press conference. I remember being in our house in Baltimore, pacing back and forth. And, I'm a little bit on edge. And you know how it is when one of your partner, like if your husband is on edge, you feel it, and vice versa. So we were like, oh my gosh, right? And, is this number accurate? We had to wait for Montgomery County to come in because they count one way. All the counties don't count exactly the same way. So it was an interesting process. And then, then it happened and we all did a press conference, which was really exciting. And, then it was on to the general. Yeah. It was on to the general. Wow. And there's no feeling like that. Listen, I say this all the time. I knew I would always be committed to service. I never knew I would be married to a governor. I never thought it. I never prayed. I never asked.
Here we are.
Hey everyone, it's your girl Janeen from the Ish Podcast.
And this is Keisha. We are coming to you live from our new home base for the Ish Podcast, the Collective Spaces, right in downtown Baltimore.
Yes, this is our new home, but it can also be yours too. Whether you're planning a full-on wedding, hosting a business meeting, having a birthday party, or a baby shower, Collective Spaces has something for you.
It's elegant, it's modern. You walk in here and you just feel the beautiful energy in this space. It's Black owned, it's woman led. You give back to your community by renting this space.
We love it here and we know you will too. So if you're interested in booking the Collective Spaces, you can find them on Instagram at the Collective Spaces MD. Want to do game first?
Sure. I love games. That's what I'm here for. You're the journalist. I'm the fun one. So we're going to play the game of first. Since you are the first lady to the first Black governor of the state of Maryland, we thought it would be fun to do first. First CD that you ever purchased.
Oh my goodness. I don't know if I can remember the first CD that I ever purchased, but I will say...
Or a favorite.
Yeah, I would say like Mary J. Blige.
Yes.
Right? My Life.
I know.
My Life.
My Life.
Real Love, right? Was Real Love even on CD?
It might have been cassette. I think it was on CD.
Yeah, well, I think My Life was definitely... Well, anyway, I don't know. For some reason, that's what definitely stands out.
I love Mary J. I knew all the words. First concert you ever went to?
I remember this very vividly. Well, actually, I've been to a few concerts. I come from a very musical family. My mother sings, my father was a drummer, right? So I remember going to see Levert.
Wow.
I do, at like at the Roy Wilkins Park in Jamaica, Queens. Like I have a very vivid memory of that. But I would say that like the first concert my mother ever took me to, was Anita Baker at Jones Beach for my 16th birthday.
That's a good first one.
Yes, yeah. It was amazing. Yep.
First car.
Oh boy, this is a great story. It was a Ford Escort. It was a Ford Escort that caught on fire on the way over the Delaware Memorial Bridge on the way back to school. It was a hoopty.
First dance at your wedding reception.
First dance was You Were Made for Me by Donny Hathaway.
Oh, I love
yes.
that.
Yeah.
Okay. Reaction when you first found out that you were pregnant with your first child.
Oh my goodness. Wow, what a great question. My first, I think, what's so funny? it's funny, I remember my son more. I actually remember like sort of telling Wes, hey, guess what? And
Guess what?
Guess what? And he's like, what? Right? And I'm like, I'm pregnant. That's what I remember the most. I remember a lot of things. I remember our baby showers and stuff like that. Yeah. But I do remember telling him about Jamie. I just really remember that.
And being super excited.
Yes.
And first night at Governor's house. The people's house.
Oh, first of all, all of the grandfather clocks were going on all day. No, it was, and Wes was like, you were like, do we have to stay with these grandfather clocks? Here's the cutest story too. So Mia still had on her gown from the inauguration. She had gone downstairs. They had left all these great treats for us. She'd come back upstairs and she had ice cream. I was at the top of the stairs that you saw me come down. She was walking around and the chimes, all of them started going, and she started running. And all you could see was a train of her dress. She was trying to get back upstairs to us. It was the cutest thing. Yes, yeah. No, it was very cute.
So you brought up the inauguration. Let's talk about it.
What a time, right? That party was.
We had a good time.
Yeah, you couldn't tell us it wasn't a presidential dinner.
We had fun.
Before we did all the partying, that was the day, the actual inauguration.
Yeah.
And I know for most Marylanders, I can't speak for the rest of the world, but for most Marylanders, it was very reminiscent of that day that we first saw Barack Obama sworn in, right? Completely. It brought back the same feeling. What do you remember most about the day? Because we know what we remember, but we're curious what you remember.
I chaired my husband's inauguration. And I even get goosebumps thinking about it because it was such a powerful day. One of the things that I remember most is when we walked from the docks. We were intentional about starting at the docks because it was a slave port. And we walked up, Main Street, and we were walking here to Government House. And I had planned everything with a great team of volunteers and people who worked on the inauguration. And there was a man who we did not plan for, was singing Sam Cooke's "A Change Is Gonna Come."
Oh my gosh.
And Wes said to me, did you plan that? And I said, no. Wow. And we both started crying.
Oh my gosh.
It was just so moving.
Yeah.
I never saw him again.
Wow.
Never saw that man again. I never heard him again. Wow. But it's a memory that is embedded in my mind.
Yeah, that was God speaking.
Yeah, that was God. That was
sure.
God.
I love that.
God.
Amazing.
Yeah, yeah.
So at the inauguration, there was an Oprah.
The Oprah of it all.
The Oprah of it all. Yeah. How did that relationship come about? Because I know we were all shocked. We were like, wait.
I'm big surprising. When Wes wrote his first book, The Other Wes Moore, it was her last season of her show. And she had him on her show. And it might have been one of her last shows. And she debuted the release of his book, The Other Wes Moore. And from there, a relationship began.
You got the Oprah stamp.
You got the Oprah stamp. Yeah, and he's just
it works out.
An amazing
friend. Let's talk about your look. You served looks. First of all, through the whole campaign.
Yes. Thank you.
But inauguration, it was just, you were a vision.
Thank you.
You were a vision. So let's talk about your look for inauguration.
Well, I do love fashion, but I think fashion, I love it because it makes an important statement, right? And I think fashion comes in all different ways. I call myself a high-low girl. I'm serious. I will have shoes on from Marshalls and a blouse on from Jody Davis, right? Like that's how it's just, what do you love? And so I was so proud for my inaugural look, to wear a design by Jody Davis. Lana Ray and Maria, who are amazing stylists and culture carriers in Maryland. They helped, sort of polish off the look and of our family. Wes's tuxedo was designed by a gentleman named Miguel, which a lot of, men use. He has a store in Prince George's County. And, so we tried to stay local, but we wanted to lift up the real talent that we have in Baltimore, the real talent that we have in Maryland. And then my gown was designed. I wore 2 gowns. One was from Francesca Tillier. She's a local businesswoman who has beautiful gowns at Green Spring Station in Baltimore. And then Christian Siriano, who is a treasure, who is a Maryland treasure. He designed my gown that Wes and I danced to.
I love that you are always so intentional about, even the other day at the golf tournament, the designer of your outfit was there.
Yes.
And she was so honored. And I'm like, this is just so dumb. Like, she was
Thank
like,
you.
can you believe it? And in my mind, I'm like, I can, because I know how much she loves Marylanders and creatives. And you could have had anybody in the world designing your stuff. But I love that you're so intentional about that.
Thank you.
Really
Yeah. Thank
Well,
you.
we know that you're not all about fashion and beauty.
Well, that's the fun stuff.
It's fun. We can have fun. We can have fun.
But you also have some really big initiatives that you're working on. So can you tell us about some of the things that you've implemented throughout Maryland and that are important to you for your key initiatives right now?
I mean, I've been so proud to be the first lady of the state and to be able to take an active role in partnership with my husband. And so I have done a lot of work around military families. I was the first lady in close to 20 years to testify before the General Assembly on a bill that was around supporting employment initiatives for spouses of active military members. I've done a lot of work on children's mental health. One of the reasons that we've done the work we've done in this home is so that we can welcome more people in this home, so they can feel comfortable, so they can be seen, right? So they can feel seen. I've had yoga on the lawn. I've had experts come in and people who care deeply about, the state of our children. We're all moms. We know that this is something that is really plaguing our children. And so I always say nothing about us without us, right? And so I had young people talking about what does it mean to be a young person, living in the age of social media and living in the age of, this obsession with how we, may be perceived or all those kinds of things. So we had great conversations around that. And then, arts and culture is very important to us. I think it brings people together. It helps us to show the beauty in all people, the beauty in all things. And then one of my, I think proudest accomplishments is Preakness 150.
Oh, yeah.
And the Preakness Festival was born out of an idea of Wes and I going to Kentucky, me experiencing the Kentucky Derby, and saying, wait a minute, we can do this here in Maryland. And
that concept.
Oh my gosh.
We had so much fun,
right?
Oh. Like I said, we bought all the real estate.
Yes, and I'm very grateful for that. Thank you.
It's like I knew it was going to be amazing. Like you were appointing me on the committee, which was an honor. I still didn't know how fun that was going to be until I was standing there. I mean, we were all hoarse. We were singing our hearts out. Everyone came to our restaurant after. We were looking over. We had Deborah Cox, Too Short, all just hanging out. And I was like, what a time.
In fact, we had so much fun that we barely made it to Preakness.
Oh my goodness. That's why I couldn't make it to the after party, because I was like, I got to go to Preakness tomorrow. But it was amazing. Thank you. And we want to get bigger. We want to get better.
Yeah.
And we want everybody to be involved. This is what I loved. And I think this was the goal, and I hope that I accomplished it. I had communities that hadn't typically felt included in the Preakness. And I said, I don't care what you went to, whether you went to the Preakness races or you went to, Club Quarantine at Pier 6. If you went to anything that was involved with the Preakness, you went to the Preakness.
Yes.
And so you felt like you were a part of something.
Yeah.
And then hopefully that put more people in the seats at the
Yeah.
Preakness,
Yeah.
stakes,
For sure.
but you still were a part of something great that was going on in Maryland.
You were inclusive.
We were inclusive.
Yeah.
And then I also had horse breeders and horse trainers coming up and saying, thank you for what you're doing for the Preakness.
Wow.
So everybody felt like there was something for them. Yeah. And I want, next year it's going to be in Laurel.
Right.
And that's, the Washington suburbs. And then when we come back to Baltimore in 2027, everybody is like, yeah, we're all going to the Preakness.
Yeah.
So
For sure.
that's the
I
goal.
can't wait.
That's
I
the
can't
goal.
wait. Let's talk about Government House, the foundation for the preservation of Government House.
Yeah.
You have done such phenomenal work in this home. Talk to us about why it was so important for you to do that foundation and to put so much energy into this home.
One, I think it's a responsibility. It's a responsibility of the family that is living here to make sure that you are doing your part to upkeep this home. And so I feel like that's the driver. But I also expanded the foundation to include programming, which I do think is somewhat unique from maybe how it's typically been run. And so through the expansion of that charter, we were able to do the programming that people who don't always get to come to this home can experience, right? I didn't want it just if you knew somebody or if you were on the email list or, that you could come to a cocktail party.
Right.
I wanted this to be a place where we connect, where we can convene, where we can talk about real problems and find real solutions with the people who are most affected by it.
I'm going to say that's impressive because I don't want that many people.
You're not
I can imagine coming downstairs every day and be like, who's down there today?
But I think if you were in this role, right?
Yes.
It's like you have a restaurant, right?
Sure.
This is a place that people come together.
That's our house. And
Yeah,
people
that's
always
your
in it.
house,
Always,
right?
yeah.
So this is the people's house.
Yeah.
And so we take it very seriously.
Love it.
All right. So let's talk a little bit about how this role actually affects you. Good and bad, honestly, right?
Yeah.
Being Maryland's first Black First Lady, right? Did I say that right? That's a lot of pressure and a lot of weight, right? How do you handle that? Like, does it feel like a lot of pressure, or at this point are you kind of just like, you know what? This is what I got to do?
Yeah. I feel like it's an awesome responsibility, right? My husband's the only Black governor in the country.
Oof.
I am the only Black First Lady in the country.
In the whole country.
Which is sad.
It is. It is an indictment on where we are.
Yeah.
Because, and Wes says it best, it's not because he's the only qualified one.
Right.
It's not because he's the only one who, did it and was the most qualified and there was never anybody before him. There are a lot of people that paved the way. He's the third in the history of this country.
Oof. That is so crazy.
And, I am honored and I am privileged to be the first. I don't need to be the only. So we all have to do what we have to do to get the people in positions. And it's not just about a race, it's about values,
For sure.
right? It's about who has the values that says we care about your family, we care about your future, your economic growth, right? We care about these things. And I hope that I take this assignment, and when it is our time to walk out those doors, people will say they understood the assignment. They understood it.
I can't believe how much you guys have done as a collective and him as governor. And he hasn't even been in office that long.
We're going on 3 years.
I mean, but it feels like he's been in office for 2 terms already. The amount of impact
That's happening.
is phenomenal. I can't wait to see what else.
Well, you know what, Keisha, if I may, I appreciate that observation. I really do. Because, my husband lost his father very suddenly when he was about 2.5, 3 years old. And I'm not trying to psychoanalyze him, but our experiences shape us. And I really feel that he moves with such urgency because he understands how delicate life is. He understands how quickly things can
That's real.
go in a different direction. And I think he feels he has no time to waste.
Yeah.
And people have put him here with this awesome responsibility to lead in this time.
So that makes me wonder that, right? Because I know in my household, my husband operates very similarly, and he's very laser focused on work. And so then I have to laser focus on the kids. But in your case, both of you have very heavy roles that you have to do. How do you find time to balance that, but also make sure that your kids feel seen and loved and safe and comfortable under such a big microscope?
Yeah. Well, first, we always have to keep checking in. Like, do you have all the games on the calendar? Do you have all the recitals on the calendar, right? Like, when are we going to do a family dinner? When are we going to do our date night? Like, we have to be in constant communication, right, about those things. And, you know, you have staff and you have to make sure, did they schedule this in, right? Those things we have to be intentional about.
You schedule in your date nights as well?
You have to. We do. You do.
And
And that's the thing. You do. I mean, we schedule, and someone gave us really great advice. They said, take a trip where it's just the two of you. You know, but we do the things that families do. You can catch Wes out here any day throwing a football out here with Jamie, right? You can, you know, catch me taking Mia shopping. You know, she's 14 now, so she wants to go shopping. And so,
Sephora.
you know, that's Sephora, right? Like, I'm like, we are stocking it? Like, but so we do all the things that families are doing. And I hope, too, it helps us to stay connected to what's really going on. And so I'm grateful.
It's always so, like, the way you guys have maneuvered, and you guys don't miss a beat with your kids. And that's beautiful. And
Thank you.
I strive to even be a little ounce to that as baby Sarah gets older. Fun question. Who's the good cop and who's the bad cop? With the kids?
Oh, I'm the bad cop. I'm the bad cop. Yeah, I call him the minister of fun. I mean, you know, when daddy comes home, it's like Santa Claus drops through the ceiling. But, you know, I mean, you know, we're day to day.
Yes.
We're day to day, right? So we got to be the heavy a little bit.
What values are most important that you guys are passing down to them, experiencing this life right now?
Yeah.
Like what?
Well, you know, I think it's constantly evolving, but I think it's most important for children to know it's not always about you.
Yeah.
Right? That, like, there are a lot of people who are struggling. There are a lot of people who need you to be there for them. And so being self-aware enough to know that it's not just about you, that there's a big world and that you have a higher and greater responsibility. I'm not saying you have to run for office. I'm not saying that you have to choose the path that, you know, Wes and I chose, but be a good person in the world. Whatever that is.
Yes.
Be a good person in the world so that you are impacting people in a positive way and not in a negative way.
I love that.
You talk about being good people, but let's talk about you. You've been very open about your struggles with MS. What made you finally go public with that?
Yeah. You know, I was diagnosed with MS in my mid-20s, mid to late 20s.
And for people that don't know, how are you diagnosed? What tests do you have to do?
So,
or what might you be going through that you might want to get tested
It's a really good question. It's called a differential diagnosis. There is no blood test that you take.
Okay.
You have to take a series of tests.
Okay.
And then the doctor determines, you know, this is what, you know, it is.
Gotcha.
And so I had to go through what they call episodes of bouts with MS. So the first thing that I went through was I lost the taste in my mouth. And I remember being at one of my good girlfriends, we were watching TV, and I'm like, does this grape taste funny to you?
Wow.
You know, and it was like, and she's like, no. She's like, well, maybe you're just a little dehydrated, right? And I was scared to, like, and then I started feeling really off and uneasy, and I was scared to tell my parents because I didn't want them to worry about me.
Right.
And so, like, my friends took me to the hospital. I did a CAT scan, and I was like, maybe I have a brain tumor. And then I finally realized I have to call my parents. And so my mother and my father came, and then we started just going to see doctors. And finally, we landed on a doctor that actually, my boyfriend at the time, Wes Moore,
I was gonna say, ooh.
helped me to find Dr. Carolyn Britton, a Black female doctor in New York. And she had looked at all my tests, all the things. I had had a spinal tap, I had all the things. And she said, this does look like you have MS. She said, but what I'm gonna tell you is don't come in here with anybody else's illness. Because you don't have a certain path with this illness.
Right.
You know, I am very blessed now, you know, close to 25 years later. I've had a very benign course with the illness.
It's amazing.
And I feel great. I'm not on any medication. I haven't been on medication in many years. That's what I choose. I started with medication, but then I felt like I didn't need to be on medication anymore. And so I chose to take myself off of it. But the medications they have are amazing.
Yeah.
And I think people who are living with MS should use it if that's the best thing for them. But, you know, what I have tried to do was I took a holistic approach, particularly in the beginning. And it was, you know, I have a chronic illness that is an autoimmune illness, and it is causing inflammation in my body. So what do you do to stop the inflammation in your body? Well, there's a few things. You can take medication, you can exercise, and you can eat right. And that's what I did. And that's what I continue to do. I try to stay active. I try to make sure that I have a nutritious diet, right? And I try to keep my stress low. And, you know, you may say, well, how do you do that? And this,
Teach us your ways.
But you know what? The thing is, I'll tell you things that make me stressed out is if somebody I love is sick.
Yeah.
If somebody I love is stressed out. It's very difficult to stress me out for a long period of time. It really is, because I think I am well practiced in keeping things in perspective and knowing what's really important.
What do you say to women living with invisible illnesses?
Don't be invisible. Don't be invisible. You asked me, you know, why did I start talking about it? Because I felt like in this role, literally, how dare I not share with people the success that I've had in an effort to hopefully inspire somebody else, to make them realize if you're newly diagnosed, this is not a sentence that I'm never going to be able to walk again, for example, or that, you know, or that I'm going to live with the stigma of an illness, whatever the illness is. And so I hope that I can be some source of information and some source of inspiration for those living with it or any other autoimmune illness.
You mentioned that it's really hard to stress you out for long periods of time. What things do you do for your self-care to kind of keep yourself calm and balanced and relaxed?
Yeah.
I always chill.
I
with Dawn having like.
I think I probably should be better at it, but I have been really good at, like, for example, after COVID, right? Or actually during COVID, my neighbor said, why don't you come play tennis with me? That I was like, well, I've never played tennis, right? And I'm fairly athletic. So she's like, just take a lesson. And
Is this Jan?
It's not Jan. It's another man. I got Jan into tennis. I did. She will tell you that. But so we went, and I just loved it. And I felt, wow, you know, like I can be powerful on this court. And then I could socialize. So I'm very social. I could socialize, and we could be safe. And I just threw myself into it. And I felt, living with this illness, I can whack that ball and I can win and I can do all these things. And that just felt good to me. You know, I definitely love travel. I do my girls' trips.
Oh, I love it.
A good girls' trip, right? Wes and I, we love to travel. We take time for each other. We laugh a lot. I think laughter is really key.
It really
Yeah.
is. It's
Like,
healing.
Yeah.
You can take yourself so seriously when nothing is funny.
Yeah.
No, really. And
Yeah.
and that's kind of painful to live like that.
Yeah.
But we laugh at a lot of things about ourselves. We do. And I think that sort of alleviates and mitigates the stress.
One question I was going to take out, but now that she said that, we're going to ask you. What's one thing that your husband and kids tease you about?
Oh, well, Mia always teases me that I mess up the words to songs all the time. She's like, you just say whatever it is.
As long as you're in the same melody.
Yes.
Whatever.
Wes calls me Scary Spice.
Meaning that you're scared of things or you are scary.
Probably both.
Probably both to him.
Probably both. But he's like fearless, right? But that's the weather. So I'm like, I'm like focused on the kids. Be careful. You can't go into the ocean without daddy. Whatever the thing is. But he calls me Scary Spice.
Oh, I love
and Jamie, if I try to like dance or do something cool with him, he says I'm cringe. I'm cringe.
That's their favorite word. I'm cringe every day. It's my house.
I haven't seen yet, but I'm preparing.
You wait, it's coming.
Cringe.
It's coming.
Oh gosh.
I'm like, I was really cool. Like, I'm a cool mother.
Nope, not to them. Not to them.
So I guess we'll play another quick game.
Yeah, we'll round it up.
Lighten it up a little bit.
I love the
All right, rapid fire. Pew, pew, pew.
She's the rapid fire assassin.
I love it. I love it.
Wait a
I
minute,
love
where's
it.
the trooper? I don't want to look tactical. Okay. Mia's go-to dance style.
Ballet.
She's
Ballet.
a phenomenal
On point.
dancer.
Ballet.
Jamie's favorite athlete.
Lamar Arrington.
Oh,
Did I say it right?
Sorry.
Cringe.
Heels or sneakers?
Heels are, now it's kind of like sneakers.
Same. Favorite show to binge watch?
Not a bit. Oh, HGTV. Anything on HGTV.
Oh, that's
You
a good one.
binge watch
I do.
HGTV?
It's all the time. It's my go-to. It's my go-to.
Song that you have on repeat right now.
I would say anything Beyonce.
Easy.
Easy.
She has something for every day.
Yeah.
For everybody.
Everyone.
She got it all.
Neil knows how I'm feeling based on what I'm playing. So he'll be like, what
There you go.
Mind your business.
Yeah.
A thing that I wish more women talked about.
Business.
Oh, yes.
Business.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Don't gatekeep girls.
Yeah. That's right. That's
That's
right.
the point of the ish.
That's right. That's right.
Dream dinner guests to host, past or present? Since we've already had Oprah.
Yeah, we've had Oprah. Oh my goodness.
Where do you go from there?
I would say Harriet Tubman.
Ooh, yes. Could you
Harriet
imagine?
Tubman.
Tell us all your
Like,
stories.
listen, I'm
could
getting
you
goosebumps just
imagine?
thinking about it.
But her seeing the world now, to see herself in these rooms that
Well, that's true
her story is
too.
being told.
But also just a centering, like,
yeah,
can you imagine what she was going through?
yeah, yeah. Come
You
to
know?
us, sis.
Yeah. That's right.
It's gonna be okay.
It's gonna be okay. Yeah.
If you had a full day to yourself, no calls, no cameras, how would you spend it?
I thought you said no clothes.
Or that.
Just a bathroom.
Just a bathroom. I would go spend it at a spa.
Yes,
I
we love
would.
a spa
I would
day.
definitely.
We love a spa
I definitely
day.
would
There's
do that.
footage of us at spa
Yes,
days.
yes, yeah.
Favorite restaurant in Baltimore? Shameless plug.
Oh my goodness.
It doesn't have to be Black Swan. It doesn't have
Oh
to
my
be Black
goodness.
Swan.
It's so delicious. All the, the lamb chops, the drink. My favorite drink is the Black Swan
Yeah,
drink.
yeah. It creeps up on you. Though.
It's very good. Yes, yes.
All right, so
yes.
this is more of a you or Wes thing. Who's more likely to cry during a movie? You or Wes?
Probably him.
Who takes longer to get ready?
I do. I definitely do. I definitely do.
Who's more romantic?
He's very romantic.
We've heard the Italy story.
Yes, he's very romantic.
We're all
which
gonna be
I'm
going
grateful.
home
And
together.
I'm a girl who appreciates romantic
Yeah.
gestures.
The,
Yes.
the bar is high.
Yes.
Who says sorry after an argument first?
He does.
The romantic does.
He does. He's not, he does acrimony is not his way. So he's always willing to, say, hey.
And you answered this earlier. Who's the better cook?
He definitely is the better cook.
He's never cooked us anything.
Yeah, we gotta create a night for that.
I don't
because
believe
he
you.
can
I
cook.
want him to prove it.
Yes.
And I want a fortune
I
cookie.
don't believe you need more football.
Fortune
We gotta do that.
Yes, with fortune cookies.
Yeah, he can do it. He can do
That's
it.
amazing.
And to basically wrap this interview up, what legacy do you want to leave as First Lady of Maryland, especially for young Black girls who are watching you?
I hope that they are inspired to be in service. I hope that they are inspired to be doing it with their partner. I think it's so, you all you work with your partners. I work with my partner. It is something so powerful about what we can do when we come together as families, as women, as husband and wife, partner and partner, whatever your choice is. And I hope they said that, they say she did it with class and she left something behind for us to move the ball forward on.
I'm going to go out and step on them and say you've already done it. Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Thank you for
Thank
all
you
that
so
do
much.
for all of us.
Thank you for, the platform and the example you are to me, to my daughter, to our family. Just so grateful for your brilliance and your friendship.
Oh, Janeen. We're not that bad after all. Get what they say about us.
Not at all.
And thank you for opening your home up to us.
Thank
This
you.
is beautiful. And we
Thank
love
you.
everything you've done with it.
Thank you. This was a lot of fun.
We just finished filming a podcast, and can you guess where we're going next?
Black Swan, of course. I want lamb chops, I want cauliflower, I want all the things.
If you haven't been, we have the best chicken box around.
For sure.
So if you're hungry, if you're in the Baltimore area, just visiting, or if you're tuning into our podcast and want to come to Baltimore, you can also meet us at Black Swan, where the food is amazing.
Black Swan, that's Eat at Black Swan, BLKSWAN. Follow us on Instagram, come and visit us. It's always a vibe.
Tell them Janeen and Keisha sent you. If you've been watching our episodes, I'm sure you've noticed this amazing piece of art behind us. Shout out to our friend Be More Tough for providing us with this beautiful piece of art.
He has amazing textiles. He's so talented. He was gracious enough to let this piece live in season 1. But follow him on Instagram at Be More Tough and see all the amazing things that he's doing. He's phenomenal.